welcome back to Road to a Better Me. Today we've been talking with Kelly, Lynn, Andrew from the Little Shop of Healers, and we've been delving a little bit more into the mental and emotional end of things, as well as being a part of the journey people need to take to, better health and well-being. We know we have to change our diet, we have to eat better food, get a lot of the bad chemicals out and different things like that. But we then have to go a step further as and start dealing, like you were talking about before the break, about some of the emotional baggage that we carry. And you had touched on something earlier that I thought was very important too, is also having an awareness of things, but also understanding, is this mine to deal with?
Fantastic.
If it is not mine to deal with, then push it out, get rid of it. It may be for your child to deal with, not for you, and you worrying about it isn't going to help. It's just going to, weigh you down some more. And I think people get to a point where they don't even, I think, physically know how to do that. So, how would you, take someone in that situation and deal with that?
Well, so much of it is having them have the awareness that that's what they're doing. So many moms just think that's what you're supposed to do, right? You start carrying this infant that you have to do everything for. So we're going more with the moms today. And then at certain stages, you have to let them do more. When they start sitting up, you start setting them down, sitting up and walking and whatever, and you change the environment for them and whatever. But at some point, now my children are going to school. I am not their top. So how do they start dealing with people in their environment? And they have to advocate for themselves. Mommy shouldn't have to come in all the time and talk to them. If you have a problem with your teacher, then you need to discuss it with them. And then if there's a problem, and how do you advocate for yourself? But more of that emotional, to be aware of it, and then how do they release it? So some of it is just being aware of it and saying, and I know this is an access bars thing, I don't know if you guys have gotten into this in other segments, is just even asking, is this mine? And sometimes it lifts off. It's magical how it lifts off. And we can even, if you want to get into some woo-woo stuff, we can actually feel sometimes each other's pain. Have you ever had like, when your wife's pregnant, sometimes people have, what do they call it, sympathy pains. Why not in other times, right? That you might be picking up somebody's trick knee.
Exactly.
And that's another thing. People often claim it. My cancer, my bad knee, and so as soon as you claim it, it becomes yours. What if it's just, hey, there's something going on my knee, what can I do? What does that mean? Where do I go?
But that's the difference about being aware, though, because there's many different reasons why someone can have a particular cancer developing in their bodies in many different ways, that whether it's diabetes or heart disease or whatever it is, anything. And that's very important to do, just like that, acknowledge it. I'm aware of it, but now where did it come from?
And where do I go from here? Because more importantly, most people want to know.
Because if they can get people to claim it for themselves and keep it, guess what people do? They learn to live with something instead of finding ways of eliminating, and it becomes more and more destructive.
Well, it's almost their norm. I feel that people walk around in more or less pain all the time. It isn't how much pain it isn't do I have pain, it's how much. And I hear people say, I hurt everywhere. And so if you say that, I can't believe that's true. Like, how about maybe focus on my little toe doesn't hurt? That feels a bit better to say. So sometimes it's people focus on it is a lot of it, instead of opening up to other ideas. But it's that emotional, and they're claiming it, and where do they go from here? So you have a massage, and what is your massage therapist? How do we help you through it, right? And so as people start talking and working through it, but also it's understanding that it all works together. That I'm in all this pain. What do I do? Maybe you need to change your norm. So by having a massage, you realize I feel a bit better. That's great. That's a huge step.
Exactly.
And okay, so I'm adding in some nutrition and some supplements, and I'm adding in a yoga practice or a exercise, whatever works for me. And that's what I want to encourage people: find what works for you.
Yes.
Yoga's huge right now. Doesn't mean it's for everybody.
Well, and that's the problem when society makes fads out of things. They become popular. But I know for some people, they jump on their bike and ride 20 kilometers. That is the most therapeutic thing for them. For other people, they go to the gym and they lift some weights. For other people, they run to the yoga class or spinning class, or, you know.
I think it's so important, and if you have enjoyment in it, it's so much more. And sometimes I find, and that's where I've been struggling with the emotional, even in eating. Sure, you could have the proper food, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I gotta have that salad. I didn't really want the salad. So there's an emotional side to that as well. Or I'm feeling guilty for eating that chocolate cake. So they need to find the balance. What if we don't make these hard and fast rules that you have to have 10 massages to have this work. You have to have these certain supplements. Everybody is a unique individual, as we've said, and you need to advocate for yourself is the biggest thing. I can't know everything about you. I only have my scope. I don't know. I never studied nutrition.
Yeah, exactly.
So I go to somebody to help me with that. I have a trainer, you know, a physical trainer, and you have lots of times a spiritual or a religious advisor. All of those are part of your puzzle, and how do you intermingle it? And people, I think, forget. And so many years, and I don't want to diminish doctors at all, but so many years they held the whole puzzle. And I want to encourage people that there is complementary health that works with your doctor, because our health system cannot handle it all. The system cannot handle it all, and so if we can take some parts and help out, and everybody work together, the system could help help with everybody.
And so, I mean, we're going to get a little bit more into that about engaging people, helping them take personal responsibility, doing the things society says you don't need to do. We've been talking to Kelly Lynn Andrew from the Little Shop of Healers, and we'll just take a short commercial break, and then we will get a little bit more into some of these other exciting topics. You've been watching CATV1. You can also find us on ONET on channel 55. So we'll be right back after a short commercial break.